Let me start this off by saying I love, love, love Devilman Crybaby. It's one of my favorite anime adaptations of a manga ever. The symbolism is great, the visuals are great, the homage to the 70s anime, great. Soundtrack, I bust a nut every single time. As of the creation of this video, I have not seen or read any other adaptations of Devilman, just the manga and Crybaby. Sorry. So, I went around saying 2018 Ryo sucks, but then I'm like, nah, this isn't supposed to be an exact adaptation. That much is obvious with the implementation of the track club, the delinquents who rap 24/7, and basically the entire modern setting. Getting into a modern adaptation of a work that's 45 years old, you need to know shit is going to change. What I found unnecessary, however, was how much they watered down the three main fucking characters. I get it, there's only so much you can fit in a 10-episode anime, but when you see how much love and effort they put into side characters, I'm gonna notice, and I'm gonna be pissed. But this video is about Crybaby Ryo specifically, and how unhappy I am with the writer's interpretation of him. He's one of my favorite characters of all time, and they did him so dirty. Why did they do my boy so dirty? Crybaby has this sweet little motif about crying, which is a homage to an event early in the manga where Akira is teased about being a crybaby when he was younger, and how much of a pussy baby ass he currently is. The anime really went hog wild with it, having Akira cry at the drop of a hat when he notices other people being sad. It's symbolism for humanity. Akira maintains one thing about his former self when he transforms into a demon, and that's his soul, so he cries. We don't see Ryo cry because he's not human and doesn't believe in love or sorrow, which he considers weak human traits. And there lies the fucking problem. Manga Ryo cries as much as Akira does. Ryo's love for Akira is shown throughout the story, through his sorrow and his fear of losing a loved one. Ryo experiences humanity, he experiences hysteria, which was necessary for him since he took human form in order to find mankind's weaknesses. We see none of this in the anime. Ryo is blatantly shown to be up to some fuck shit. You perceive him as a villain the first time he appears on screen. Even the opening knows. When manga Ryo first appears, even though he pulls a gun on children, you don't perceive him as a villain. You see him as mysterious, maybe a bit of a crackhead, but essentially on your side. The children in question are brandishing knives at Akira and Miki. Akira asks, "What's happened?" Ryo says, "It's urgent. His life is in danger." Akira then ponders how his best friend could have possibly changed this much since their last meeting 1 month ago. If your friend, your best friend, who was completely normal a month ago, suddenly owns a gun and asks you to follow him because it's important and he is scared, I think it's justified. Crybaby Ryo pulls out a machine gun on some kids that were just kind of rapping. Well, I guess they were sort of bullying Akira, but who the fuck wasn't at that point? Anyway, after he shoots the gun, what does Akira say? "That's my friend. He's a genius professor. Gotta go. Bye." What? I guess it's excusable since Ryo's backstory is altered significantly and that he never stole an already existing person's identity. Akira was literally childhood friends with Satan from the get-go. So maybe he's used to Ryo's crazy bullshit. It's dumb though. It's still fucking dumb though. I'm supposed to sympathize with that? No. The scene where he asks Akira to help him in his quest to save mankind is rushed and disingenuous. I'm not complaining about the pacing. Well, I kind of am, but they were only given 10 episodes and the show looks amazing, don't get me wrong. But it's not compelling because he's not crying. He never even breaks a sweat. Crybaby Ryo is just a low empathy, calculative, batshit crazy anime villain we've seen so many times before. He only shows signs of humanity maybe twice. But Zed, what about all those iterations of Neon Genesis Evangelion? No Kaoru is the same. Yes, true. But his actions are justified. Well, not justified. He has a reason for the shit he does. And he still blatantly loves Shinji Ikari in every iteration. He symbolizes the love and attention Shinji never received, and he symbolizes betrayal. Every iteration, without fail. And then he died. That's why he died. Even though Miki, and on a lesser scale Akira, were cheap bastardizations of their manga counterparts, they still serve their same purpose. Miki still serves as Akira's heart and keeps him grounded. Akira's still Devilman and constantly battles with his inner demons and morality. And Ryo is... What is Ryo? What the fuck is Ryo? What is Ryo but a miserable little pile of secrets? Remember that scene where Ryo is on the computer and Akira tries interacting with him and Ryo just fucking ignores him, his best friend and love of his life? Remember that one time in the manga, Ryo tells Akira they'll go through the Sabbath tomorrow because he was scared and wanted Akira to have one last blissful human day? Or that time they were making light conversation over Ryo's family album? Remember that time in Crybaby, Akira is forced to kill his parents, leaving him mentally fucked up, and Ryo just puts him on a bed and walks away? They turned my favorite fucking crackhead into this emotionless egg. He was so complex and emotional, and they sanded all his edges and made him into this egg. I'm sorry, he looks like a fucking egg. What did they do to you? They left the other main characters the same, but went with this entirely different route with Ryo, and it's weird. It's confusing. Why? I guess shit's harder than it was in the 70s, and to conquer humanity, you have to be an apathetic, overcalculative asshole, but that shouldn't have been such a drastic detriment to his character. Why did Crybaby Ryo take human form and forget he was Satan? Why didn't Jenny try harder to remind him? Was it to find humanity's weakness? How, when he's not experiencing humanity? All he's done is observe. He could have done that as Satan. He didn't have to become Ryo. Yeah, sure, he fell in love with Akira and that's a human thing. But where did he get humanity's weakness of mass hysteria from that? Did the demons know from the beginning what the weakness was? If so, why, from a writer's standpoint, make Satan human at all? What was the point of changing his backstory if it's just gonna leave all these plot holes? I don't get it. I'm sorry, I don't get it. You only grow slightly suspicious of Ryo in the manga. It's such a slow burn, so when it's time for his big reveal, it's like, Yowza, gotta look at this fella. When I was reading it, I thought he was some demon too, and that he'd save Akira in his time of need, maybe take a bullet for him, reminding him of his humanity or something like that, I don't know. But I never saw him as antagonistic. Devilman acted 10 times more suspicious than Ryo did. I thought Akira was turning into a villain. The cool thing is, this isn't completely out of left field. You can go back and reread it, and you can see the foreshadowing. That never happens in Crybaby. You never trust the egg. The only slightly redeemable thing, the only good thing about Crybaby Ryo was that he didn't fall in love with Akira over the bullshit manga reason of, I got titties and a penis too. What up? I love you? My favorite thing was seeing someone on Twitter go like, it's so beautiful that Ryo never says outright that he loves Akira. You can just tell from his actions. Like, yeah, in the last 10 minutes of the show, fuck you. This is a good segue for another thing with Crybaby I kind of have a problem with, but also kind of don't. The indiscriminate vagueness of romantic relationships. I am sick to death of stories nowadays, pushing two main characters into a relationship because one's female and the other's male. It's very in your face, it's very unnecessary, it has no substance, it's in every movie and TV show. Miki and Akira's love for each other can be interpreted in so many ways. One-sided, mutual, completely platonic, or just that of a brother and sister. Like, I know, gross, but it's not my fault. Miki constantly brings up the word family when she's talking about Akira. It's so vague, and I like it. I like it when annoying things aren't in my face. It's kind of sad, though, because the same vagueness follows Miko. When she confessed to Miki, was that in the gal pal way we see in every gay baity anime ever? What about when Ryo confessed? How are we sure it's romantic? We aren't. The only romantic love we are certain about is the love Kame had for Serene and that one gay guy who did track. Now, let me tell you right now, I love that guy. He had a more sensible backstory and character development than Ryo did. And I'm not saying that just because he butt-fucked the dude and then ate him while crying. He was someone you could sympathize with, and he was a blatant homosexual. I mean, it's still the tragic gay trope turned evil, but, like, I'll give credit where credit is due. Another thing. I miss manga Miki. She was a fucking mess. The literal definition of horny on main. She also kicked so much ass. Come back, my dumbass queen. And, in the manga version, pre-Devilman Akira wasn't an uwu cinnamon roll. He had doubts about Ryo, and he had a way more cowardly personality. Sometimes he was, like, fucking comic relief. And when he turned into Devilman, his morality was way more questionable. Like, okay, if I didn't read the manga, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. But because I did, it's like, a 7.5, maybe 8 on a good day. I like Rio too much. He made the whole series for me. It's dumb, I know, but fuck you. It's still a super great show. It's so good. I'd talk about everything it did right, but that's kind of what everybody else is talking about. Everything kind of been said. So, in conclusion, 2018 Real Asuka is a gay bitch, and I want him dead.